Hi everybody, welcome back. We are continuing to work on our Orchids and Cats mini album, which was designed for Scrap and Create. And I have a link down below. You can go there and get all of your supplies. They have so many beautiful collections there. And I am also using dark green cardstock. So far I haven't added any other colors, but we may. But you will have seen the walkthrough by now, so you'll know. And in any event, last time we completed the first page section. For the most part, there's a couple of little mats, but mostly done. So we are going to do the second. There are 3. And I've got all the pieces in a little pile here. So let me bring over. So if you remember, we are doing a folded pocket page. I have an entire video of how to make these. Which you can refer to. You need 3 for this book. And it's just a 12 by 12 scored at 6 and 6, cut to the center on one line, and then folded. Okay? And by doing that, you end up with a page here that has a fold at the top and is open at the bottom, and then another page. So we need to close the bottom. So in the first one, we made a pocket that folded around the bottom, but on this one, we don't want a pocket there, so we're going to use a gusset to close it. So you just need a piece 1 inch by about 5 and just a hair shy of 6, really. You could go the full 6, but I like to make it a little bit shorter. You can use tape or you can use glue. It's 1 inch wide. Trim the corners at the ends, tape on both sides there, fold it in half. And we are just going to tuck it in here. Open that all the way so you can see. With the folded edge right against the bottom of this. Now this is the side with the slice. The side we're doing is the one with the fold. So we're putting it down here with the folded edge right up against that edge. And then we'll fold this down and that'll make a gusset that'll close that edge. And I am extremely blind, and this is dark. Let me grab, I don't know what I did with my white sheet. Here it is. Doing green on green is making it difficult to see. Okay. Don't mind me, I'm just going to pick it up for a second to make sure I've got it lined up. It can be slightly in from the edge, just very slightly. But definitely you don't want it out from the edge. Okay, go. And then we just remove this tape. And there we go. So now we've closed the bottom. We have an opening for our side pocket inserts and an opening to go on our hinge. And this is going to be page 7. We have 18 in total. All right, so for page 7, we are going to do a flap. And it's going to go here, very similar to what we did on page 1. And check your cutting guide for measurements, but this is, how big is this? 6 by 4.5. And what we're going to do is attach it here, and then on the inside of this flap, we are going to have an envelope that is going to flip out. I used my envelope punch board to make this. And I used the 3.5 by 5.5 card size, which says Gladstone, and you start with a 7.5 inch by 7.5 inch square. Now, if you do not have one of these, it's not difficult to make. I will show you. If you'll notice, it's rectangular in shape. Let me turn it this way so you can see the square. So here's the square, right? And you can see that it's scored off center, right? So if you measure from here to here, it's 3 inches. And from here to here is 3 inches. So on this corner, it's 3 inches, 3 inches. And on the diagonally opposite corner, it's 3 inches, 3 inches. If you make a little mark at each of those spots and then score between those marks, you'll end up with the same thing. And then you can just use your scissors to cut out a little V there. Okay? And then it just folds like this and like this. This folds up. I tend to cut this off. I don't like this big point sticking up. And then we will use another little gusset to attach it to the inside of this envelope. And it is slightly shorter than this envelope, which is fine. I mean, than the flap. However, before we do that, because of the way it's made, we kind of have to mat at least these 2 side pieces so that we can glue this. However, because of the way we're going to do it, I'm trying to think. The gusset is going to go here and here. So it's going to go here. So we could attach the gusset and then mat this, but we still need to mat these first. And I think it would be easier if we did it flat. So let's set aside the envelope piece, make your envelope piece and your gusset, and just set it aside for now. We're going to get back to that when we get to matting, which will be in just a few minutes, hopefully. Okay, but we can put our flap down. All right, so that's going to go here. Want to line up the top edge, just like that. Oop. I don't like to drop those because my cat wants to eat them. Okay. All right. And that's going to have the envelope inside, so we'll get back to that. Now, we are going to do 2 flaps here, one here and one here. Or do I want to do them? Yeah, like this. What we're doing here, if you have ever seen my Voyage Fantastique album, I did a similar page. Because this is a 6x6 book, if I do a page like this with 2 full flaps, basically what we're going to end up with is a 12 by 12 where we can put one of the really spectacular papers, which on the Voyage Fantastique it was a clock, and there's a beautiful clock in this selection, collection, so I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I've got a little nudge there where it's not as... See that where I've got a little jog? I think I'm gonna just trim that ever so slightly. Okay. So now, these are going on the top. What we may need to do, because these are butt right up against each other, we may want to trim just a hair off one of them just to make it easier to open and close it. So we are going to take just the teeniest little bit off of this. Okay, so that's what I took off, just a little tiny bit. And then we're going to line this up with the outside edge so that you can see we have a little bit of a gap in between. Not much, but enough that it'll make it easier to open and close. Actually, I'm going to put this up where I can see it. I got that straight. I feel like I did not. I didn't. Okay, hang on. I didn't push it down. Let's see if I can lift it. Nope. Undo to the rescue. Okay, I don't think I need to pull up much of it. It's mostly straight. Just let that dry for a moment. Okay. That's better. I can tell already. Okay. And now we're going to have this really big area. Okay. There's that. Those are going to need magnets, of which I have none. I have got to order them. And then we're going to do stacked pockets here. So I have got a piece 7 by 2.5 and a piece 7 by 3 1/4. Now let's check these for fit. And that is a little bit too big. One thing with doing this style of folded page is things very rarely are perfectly lined up with it, but you just have to go with the flow. I'm just going to re-score that. And let's see how that is. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Because I rescored this one, I suspect I'm going to have to rescore the narrower one as well, because it's going to sit right on top of this one. If I do. Out. Okay, now let's check that. Perfect. Okay. Okay, and then I am just going to attach the bottom tab, side tabs. And then we're going to attach this right here to the bottom of this pocket, but I think we'll put the pocket down first. Okay. There where I can really see it. Go. And then this one is just going to go right on top of it here. Okay, there we go. All right, and then we have something I'm going to put here that I need to wait on because of the matting. We'll get back to that. Okay, now back here, we're going to do another pocket with a flap, but this is going to be an accordion pocket. So for this we need a piece 4 by 9, 4 by 9 and 4.5 by 6. And the 4.5 by 6 is just going to go at the top and be a flap. The 4 by 9 is going to be our accordion. And I didn't do anything to it so you could see what needed to be done. All right, so if you can see, I've scored the bottom at 1/2 inch and then each end at 1/2, 1, 1.5, 1/2, 1, 1.5. That leaves you 3 little squares at the bottom, and you don't need those. And you can also cut them at a bit of an, coming into them at a bit of an angle. Like that. You can cut more out later if you have to, because you're going to have quite a bit of bulk here on the sides, so you kind of have to cut a little bit of it off at an angle. Okay, like that. And we're probably going to cut some from the top as well at an angle, but all right. So then we're going to fold the bottom up just like we always do. Okay, then the sides we are going to fold in an accordion shape. So in, out, in, okay? Just like that. See how I've done that? Okay, let me show you again. So fold the whole thing in, then fold back on the outer score line, and then fold back in again. Okay, just like that. And then, let's see, I think we can trim a little. Once I've got it folded, I can check. So I think I'm going to trim just a little bit off the top at an angle, just so we don't have too much bulk right at the top of the pocket. Okay, and tape. We're going to tape the bottom. No, you can make these differently. You can make them where you accordion the bottom as well, but I usually just do it this way and they work out fine. Okay, and then, hang on, move this so you can see. All right, this comes up a little bit, right, and this bottom inside one folds over onto it like that. I think. Hang on. Let me just double check because I haven't done one of these in a little while. Nope, nope, nope. Hang on. Okay. All right. All right. Had to take a pause and remind myself how to do this because I haven't done it in a while. So you want to put, hang on. Your tape. Can't seem to get the angle on that right. Turn it over so I can see it. Okay. All right. Tape there, and we have tape here. Tape on the bottom. Okay, like this. Oops. All right. And we are going to peel up the sides just like we do in a regular pocket. Okay. And fold the bottom over and adhere it. There we go. Okay, so basically we have a regular pocket. We've just added some more volume to it. Okay. And like I said, you could accordion the bottom, but I find that a little trickier than I feel like dealing with most of the time, and it's not really necessary. I'm not putting things that big in my albums, and what I really should have done is tested this for fit before I did all that. And let me just hang on. I've got a little piece of it hanging out, I noticed when I put it down. Putting that in a little bit. Let's see. Check it. It's actually pretty good. Thank goodness, because that would have been a pain to fix. Test yours for fit. And then you're just going to put this down just like a regular pocket. So pull off a little of the side, a little of the bottom. Line it up with the side and with the bottom. Okay. And then we have this side to do. Wiggling this around because I want to make sure I get it right along that edge. There we go. Okay. Good. There's a lot of bulk with these, but they do hold a lot of stuff. Okay. And then the other piece goes here, right on the top. It's going to be a flap. Okay. There we go. Flap, and I'm going to need a magnet. So I think I am going to stop and get some mats. Hopefully I will have magnets shortly. All right, so in a few seconds for you, I will be back and we will start matting this section. Work on the envelope because we have to mat some of that before we can put it in. And then, that's going there. And hopefully I'll have my magnets by then. So it may be a couple of days for me, but it'll just be a few seconds for you. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back and I have the section that we were working on before, which is the second signature, second page. And I have a bunch of stuff here, and I have my magnets. So this is our flap, and then this is the envelope that gets attached to the flap. And as you can see, I did pick out some mats, and then we have this mat. So what we need to do is, all right, so the envelope is going to go here, and then close again. So I think the best place for the magnet is probably right here. Let's go ahead and attach the envelope. Let's do that first. Okay, I just want to slide this over. I don't want to slide it too far because I want to be able to sort of see what I'm doing here. Okay, whoops. I'm sure I'm going to completely lose track. Let's see, I know that I don't need a magnet on these flaps, so let's go ahead and do that first. And the way I cut these, let me show you, is I just took my pattern paper, slid it right under here. So picture this as this paper, the pattern paper. Traced it, cut it out, and then as you can see, it's the exact size, so it's too big, but I'm just going to slide it down a little bit and then just cut a little off the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Excuse me. I don't need to open that. Let's see. I need that. And I need to cut a little bit more, and I'll probably need to take a little bit off the sides as well. But I prefer to sneak up on it than cut it all at once. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm just going to take a little bit off each side. Okay, let's see. That looks good. And then you can see these are sharp now that I trim them, so I'm just going to round them. I'll just use my scissors, my little ones. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just curve them around. Okay. That looks good. Okay. And my baby wipe. Oops, it's not a baby wipe. Hang on. had some tissues here I was using because I couldn't find my baby wipes, but they're really not the best to use because they do leave lint, whereas the baby wipes don't. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and good. That is, it's good. Just need to round those corners. That looks good. Oh, Jolly's trying to find a way to come across. A little frustrated at the moment because I'm covering this because she's coming. Hang on. Oh, you know what? I got the wrong color. That's vintage photo. I think I got my vintage photo and my walnut stain mixed up. I need to double check. Honey. Yeah, no. Okay. Anyway, I was saying she's frustrated because I have a really long desk and it actually L's around. And I'm working on another project further down the desk, and so now the whole desk is cluttered, which is driving her crazy. You know, I was saying I think I got my two inks mixed up because I'm using walnut stain on one and vintage photo on this one, and I need to double check which is which, make sure I'm right. Although this does look like vintage photo, so I think it's right. Okay, so there's that. Now this, I need to double check. Hang on. All right, either one of these could be the top or the bottom, doesn't matter. But whichever one is going to be the bottom, I need to trim because I don't like this point sticking up. So let me find my piece. This is the bottom, and actually the one that's going to be the bottom, I drew a line on. Okay, so it's this one. And I am going to cut. Actually, I think I'll use my paper trimmer. I'm going to cut that line. And it's very faint. That way it's more even. Let me stick a piece of paper in here so you can see. See? Okay. And then I have this mat going there, which I also need to trim the extra off because it's the same size. But before we add this mat, we need to add a gusset down here. Okay, because that's what's going to attach this envelope. And I'm trying to decide, yeah, how I want to do it, and that's how I want to do it. Okay, so this is a piece 1 inch by 6. It's actually 5/15. So anyway, I think it's too long, so I just want to double check it is too long. I cut it long. So what you want to do is measure your envelope, the finished size, and it is just a hair over 5 5/8. So I'm going to cut this gusset to be a little over 5 1/2, which actually we can just go in here. I don't think I have my pencil. It's on the other side. That's what I get for working 2 projects at the same time. Which which I never do. But no, I shouldn't say never. Sometimes I'll work on things that I can do that don't involve a whole lot. Over on the other side of the room, because sometimes I'll have quiet time at work or something and I can do a little bit on them then, because they don't require a lot of thought or anything. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to use, should I use tape or should I use glue? I think I'll use tape just in case I put it down crooked, which, as we all know, happens. Okay. My corners, I think I'll just fold it in half to do that. Okay, so this is the bottom, so here's the outside flap, this is the bottom flap, and we're going to attach this centered on this envelope, the bottom, with the folded edge of the gusset right up against the folded edge of the envelope. And didn't get it quite centered, but it's not bad. Okay, go. And I do not have the right bone folder. That one feels so bulky in my hand now that I have my new nice one. Okay. And now this, I have got so many loose mats, it's going to go here. I'm sure you couldn't see that at all. Hang on. Okay, so this is going to go right here. And again, this envelope is not as long as this flap, so you're going to want to center it. Now, one thing that's really a fun thing to do is to make this envelope quite small and just put it all the way at the top or all the way at the bottom. I've done that before, and that's fun. And that looks about right. Okay. That's Jolly getting into something. I don't know what. She's getting into something. What are you doing? Okay. There. Okay, so now we can add, and actually we could have added this mat before we put this in the book. Probably would have been easier. Okay. So I just need to trim a little bit off just the two sides on the bottom, the same as we did here. I think I was going to put this way. That looks good. Okay. And you know what? I just want to double check that I'm using the right ink, which I'm pretty sure this is. Wish they weren't in the same color. Whoops. Okay. And of course they look identical. Pretty sure that's vintage photo. Yeah, and that's walnut stain. Okay. So these both say vintage photo. I am so confused. Okay, let me put that one over there because it looks darker to me. You know, it probably looks darker because it's newer. Hang on. Oh, you know what it is? I'm looking over the other side of the room and I have walnut stain over there, so apparently I have 2 vintage photos out. Okay. And I just ordered another one. I should have just got the re-inker. I don't know why I don't order the re-inker. Just make more sense. Definitely need to switch to a new bottle of glue pretty soon. This one's not empty yet though. Thank goodness spring is coming, but I have enough. If you're new to art glitter glue, it can't be shipped in the winter. So you really need to stock up in the fall for however much you think you're gonna need. Okay, there's that. And then we can go ahead and just glue the 2 sides down and finish that. I think, let me just double check, because that's going to go like that, it's going to go like that. And my question that I'm asking myself is, do I want a magnet here that's going to hold it down there, and then here, and then here? I kind of feel like I do, and that would mean a magnet. I don't need a magnet really to hold it closed because that's not really all that necessary. But if I have one here, it would have to go through everything that's in the envelope, which is fine. Let's do it. It'll just look neater. We're not going to put that much in that envelope. Okay. And these are new magnets. So I'm going to need 3, I'm thinking. This one's going to go here, right? I just want to check how, yeah, they stick. Okay, I think we're good. All right. So we're going to put one here. Glad to get this one done so we can get rid of that mat. Okay, so this is going to go about centered, maybe up a little bit, but pretty much centered on this flap. Okay. And then, okay, that's going to go there. Actually, I'm going to need one more magnet. This one doesn't have to go like that, so that one doesn't matter. We'll figure that one out in a minute. Let me grab a scrap. Okay, hang on. Okay, and then this one, be awkward. It's gonna go there. This collection is just so pretty. I'm seeing quite a few people working with it at the moment, and everybody's projects are so nice. Okay, that's going to go there. Okay. And let me just put a little extra tape. And this one's going to go here. Okay. All right, so that's going there, that's going there. Okay. Actually, this is going to take 5 magnets. I don't know why I thought I was going to get away with 3. That one's going to go there. And then this one's going to go here. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and put that down like that because it's already where it belongs. Okay. There. Okay, just collecting little bits of tape backing. Okay. This is going to go like that. Normally I'd put this out here, but if I did that, I would have to use yet another magnet. This way they can share magnets. Although I suppose I could move it out, because this one is fine there. Let's do that. Hang on. Just going to move it up a little bit. I think I want to, yeah, see, it's going to want to stick that way, but I am going to do it further up. Let's put this more here. Just so that when it closes over, I'm now trying not to wreck my nails, which is probably futile. I have to do them today anyway. There we go. Let's do this. There. I think that's going to work better. Because my original thought, I'm realizing where I was going and how I ended up using more magnets than I thought. My original thought was I would not add a magnet out here and just use the one that's here to stick over here. But that really would limit what we put in the envelope. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then this piece, I have no idea what top and bottom is with this piece, is going to go here. I'm just deciding which way I want it to go. Like that. It feels like it's a little bit big. Just a hair. Pretty good. Okay. Wish I could find my other bone folder. I'm sure it's over where I was working on the other table. Alright. So when you've got this much bulk going on, be careful around the corners. Make sure you really burnish those down well. then I have, let's see, right. This piece is going here, and you haven't trimmed it to the right size yet. So we can glue these down now because we don't have any magnet issues. Move this over a little bit so you can see. So let's do that. And I'm just running a little glue down each angle, and I need a little on the straight sides as well. Go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, and then I have these two for the flap, and I need to trim these down, and I need to trim that one down. So let me, I'm trying to remember which way I was going to do that. I think I was going to do it like that. Yeah, okay. Let's just close that for now. What do I do with that? It is. And we need to cut this. So this was cut roughly. So I really need one 5 5/8 by 3 5/8. Looks good. I keep saying that every time I put down a mat, but the paper is just so pretty that every mat looks good. Alright, so that one's going inside. This one is going here. So I need to do the same thing, take a little bit off the bottom and the two sides. Here she comes. Oh, jolly girl, there is no room for you up here right now. I think what I need to do is clear off a spot and put a kitty bed or something. Okay, hang on. I am working with glue right now. Oh my goodness, I can't even see. And you're stuffing in ink. No, don't lie down. Okay, hang on. Okay, all right. Well, she's glaring at me now because I'm everything. Okay. And I am wearing black, as you can probably see from my sleeves. And now I'm covered with cat hair. Okay. Well, the guys at the paint store, the only people I'm likely to see today, will just have to deal. Okay. That's good. I feel like a stripe or a spot or something like that inside an envelope. I just think it looks nice. Okay, that's good. And then that, and again, I'm not using a closure here. Might add something mechanical, but I just don't think it's necessary because it's going all the way over. All right, so we need a piece for here, but I don't have that yet. I just want to do the mats that I actually have at this point. Try and get things neatened up. What time is it? Okay, good time. I think I mentioned I need to go to the paint store because I have an order in that I need to pick up. All right, so we need for this side too. All right. Now, I'm just going to turn everything over. All right, so we have a flap here and a pocket here. And we need to put a magnet. That's why these mats aren't done yet. I could have done this one, I guess, but I need a magnet here. It looks like there's something on the other side of this with a magnet that that's stuck to. Okay. And it's a little higher than I would like, but we may need it there anyway. Might as well put it there. Why fight it if that's where it wants to go? Of course, the issue with that is it's going to keep that pocket basically closed, but we'll have things in it, so it'll be fine. I think. Hang on. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, what I was just checking is I'm making sure that this doesn't come down and magnetize to that magnet, so I flipped it over, the directional magnets. Right? Yeah. And I'm going to put it up here. So I'm going to put it here. It's centered down about an inch. And then let me grab this. Use that as a scrap. It's got cat hair everywhere from Jolly. Well, I said that I was going to inflict my cat hair sweater all over the paint store guys, but I better not. I really am covered now with cat hair. It's not usually a worry for me because neither of my cats is a lap cat. So, but if I have to manhandle them like that, of course, that's a different story. Okay. That way you can see it's not forcing that pocket closed when it shouldn't be. All right, and then this piece goes here. Stick that in there so you have an idea. That's a good size. Okay. Okay. All right. That's that. That goes like that. And okay, so I have that side. Yeah, this side goes here. Okay. Good. All right. Okay, there we go. And this is our envelope. Okay. I'm like dithering. Okay. This page opens that way. Okay, now this is the page, you will have already seen it in the walkthrough. This is the page that sort of mimics what we did in Voyage Fantastique. Double checking that they line up across. That's what you want. If it's uneven top on the top or a little uneven on the bottom, on the top rather, it's not so bad. But if these lines don't match even, that's not going to look good. Okay. There we go. Now, let me get this out of the way. And we need to decide how we're going to do this inside part. We know we need the magnets, so those can go now. Still have a magnet. I don't know what I was going to do with that magnet, but we'll use it. Okay, so this is going to go like this. Okay, so we recreate this page when it opens. We'll need to trim these because they're cut fully 6 by 6. All right, so before we do that, we're going to put down the magnets. There's that. Okay, and then those are going to close like that. Now, all right, set this aside for a second. Let's get our mats. So I think the first thing we need to do is cut them down to size. Any cuts that I make, I'm going to make from the outside. So here and here, not here and here. Oh, jeepers, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, so they're 5 7/8. 5 7/8. Okay, that makes sense because they're 6 by 6. Okay. All right, so 5 7/8, 5 7/8. Okay, there's that. Now, we're going to be working with a craft knife from here on out. You need to be extremely, extremely careful that you do not cut yourself. Now, what we are going to do, on Voyage Fantastique, I had the tags going diagonally in on the top and straight out, I believe, on the side, mainly because I didn't want them to fall out of the book, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work out. But I think it would have been fine to do them diagonally all the way, so that's how we're going to do this one. So what I'm going to do, let me grab a pencil. I'm going to make the cuts. Let's see, because you need to have plenty of room to the sides. You don't want things to tear. I think I'm going to leave a full inch. So what I'm going to cut right on this line that forms the clock. So I'm just going to make a mark at 1 inch, right where I'm going to be cutting. I'm going to turn it and do the same at the 1 inch mark on the other side. Okay, and then we'll do the same here and there. Okay. All right, so they're all marked. Let's move 3 of these aside. Just work on this one. All right, so you want to get your craft knife, and what you're going to do is cut, and I'm just double checking because I seem to have 2 marks here. Oh, one is just part of the design. Okay, so I'm just going to cut slowly and carefully, making multiple passes if necessary along this line from one point to the other point. Okay, and I'm probably going to edit this out because I'm going to have to hang my head over it. Okay, so I've made my cut, and what I want you to do when you're making the cut, A, is be super careful and make sure you have a sharp blade. Before you even cut, do a little practice sort of over it. Be really clear where the line is. And when you're cutting, it actually helps to look slightly ahead of the blade rather than actually at where the blade is at that second. So you see your path. that you're going to be cutting, okay? And we still have little pencil marks. I may get out a good art eraser and take those out. But that's one, okay? Now, what I like to do is turn it over, take your art glitter glue. You kind of have to find the end where you finished cutting and just put a little dollop and spread it out a little bit. Okay? And then you can even use it from your finger at the other end, but this will prevent that cut from expanding along the cut line and tearing. I mean, it won't prevent it entirely. If you're rough with it, it'll do it, but this will help if you do that. Okay, and just set that aside to dry. And then do that with all 4 of your pieces. And I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's that, like that. Now, I forgot to mention, when you are cutting this, obviously you need to be on a mat like this or some other safe surface. Do not try to cut this, on a piece of furniture. You'll ruin your furniture. Okay. That looks good. All right, now let's bring the book back. And we put our magnets down. All right, so I'm going to set aside these 2 top ones. And that bottom one. Let's just do this one first. Let's open this up. Okay, just double and triple check, okay? It's 5 o'clock, so I know that that's right. So my size looks good. Okay, now, here's the thing. You're going to be putting things in here, okay? I feel like my cut is not quite there. Hang on, let me fix that one. Anyway, all right, so you are going to be putting things in here, okay? Small things. I'm just wondering if I want to expand my cut. I feel like it's a little short. That full inch maybe is not enough. Now that I see it in the book, maybe a ½ inch would have been enough. I think it would. I'm just going to expand my cut. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have to do that on all 4 of them. You use a ½ inch space where I used an inch. Okay, so we're going to be putting things in here. Which is a little tricky with it the way it is now. Okay. So what we need to do is glue. We're going to glue all the way around the edge, of course. And in this area, we can fully glue the mat down. But in this area, we only want the glue that's on the edge. Okay? If that makes sense. So you need to be careful. So this little arc here gets no glue except at the edge. This part gets fully glued. So let's... I need to add that little dot of glue there because I expanded my cut. Oh, cheapers. I just did what I told you not to do. Good heavens. All right. Do as I say, not as I do, okay? Okay. Right, make sure that's dry. Thank goodness our glitter glue dries fast. Oops. I don't think I can't really get anything under there. I'm just gonna have to eyeball it. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Put that down wrong. So busy trying to get it straight. Put it upside down. Okay. Might be time for a break. When I start making mistakes, that's when I'm pretty sure I need to step away. Hang on, I am not putting this down straight at all. There we go. My goodness, well that was a bit of a production and a half. Don't put glue where it doesn't belong, and don't put it down upside down. Like me, who just did both of those things. Now you need to be careful because you might get some glue seepage. Where's my little, here it is. And you don't want that seepage to glue down this piece, which is what I did because I put the mat down wrong. So I'm just reaching in under here and ungluing what I accidentally glued down. Okay. This is where these little thin flexible rulers come in handy. Alright, well, that glue should dry shortly and then it will take care of that issue that I just created for myself. So I'm just going to leave that like that. Make sure. I think it looks fine. I think it's going to be fine. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that. Okay. Let me do the next one correctly. Alright. 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's where that goes. I almost didn't do this page because it's not hard to do, but it is so fussy. And like I said, well, you all know me by now. You know I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't worry about it. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that years and years ago, I used to have an employee who worked for me who, she was fine. She was very nice. She did a good job. She, no problems. But every time she made a mistake, as everybody makes mistakes, it would just wreck her day. She would be completely paralyzed for the rest of the day to almost do anything because she was so freaked out by making a mistake. And, I would have talks with her, as you do with your employees, and it was never about, oh, you made a mistake. It was always about just learn from it, let it go, move on. And this is the same thing, right? Do not be paralyzed by mistakes. Don't decide you're not going to try something because you might make a mistake, okay? Because, you are going to make a mistake. It's inevitable. But there's very few mistakes that can't be fixed. Here we go. Okay. I am liking how this looks. It's worth all the hassle of making the mistakes. Now, here's where things get tricky. Not that they weren't already, but I've turned it upside down, so I need to make sure that the correct mat goes in the correct place. Now, the way you can tell, and I probably ought to have mentioned this earlier, the border has to go around the outside. And of course you need 12 at the top and 6 at the bottom. Okay, now I need to extend the cuts. Just drop the mats down. Whenever you're doing mats, drop the mats down lightly so you can play with them a little bit because the art glitter glue does grab on in a hurry. Okay, that's good. And let's just get this one up. Because if you have any glue seepage under there, it could glue this down, and you don't want that. good. Nice. Okay. Now, moving on. Alright. So what I have here, this is our stacked pocket, and I took this, I believe is the 8x8 house, and I just cut my 3 mats from that one section, like that, to sort of recreate the house a little bit, there. And then I have this piece going here. And what time is it? Okay, I've got time. I'm just checking because, like I said, I have an order. I pre-ordered at the paint store, and they'll have it ready for me. I don't want to be later than I said I was going to be. And that fits. There's not a lot of border around it, but I think it's fine. And I'm just double checking. Yeah, that's not a flap or anything. Just making sure I didn't need a magnet or anything on there. Good. I think that's all the mats that I have so far cut for this section. So we need here. We need here. This one's fully done. This is fully done. This is fully done. And I just need, oh yeah, and I need here and here. And the inside of that envelope. Okay. I am going to stop. I'll be back in just a couple minutes for you. It's going to be a little while for me because I'm going to run to the paint store, get my paint. And then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I've gone to pick up paint, and then I have cut a few mats out. Okay, so I chose this cute kitty for the front here. Let's put this down. I did glue 1 or 2 down just in the interest of saving time. This one is pretty bulky. It's got a bit of a curve here, but I think we'll be all right. I need to find my new bone folder because it's a lot thinner than this, and I think it would probably work better. And just go ahead and get that good burnish. Okay, cute. All right, and then we'd already done these. Just get rid of that. And I picked this for here. That slid on me a little bit. Pick that up and try that again. I feel like that is not very straight, but maybe I didn't put the envelope down straight. Either way, it looks fine. And I'm just going to lift that up so I can really give it a good burnish. All right, and then inside the envelope, I just put this piece from one of the 6x6 as a scrap that I had. Okay. Okay, so there's that. We had already done this, which is done. We had already done these. And the only thing I had to do here was the inside of the flap. So I just sort of repeated what I did here, but I put the border at the top and then I put this piece here. So this was one piece that I cut. All right, so that is section 2 done. Let's look at section 1. Here's section 1. Right. There's a pocket, there's another pocket, flap. This is the waterfall. We still have a couple of pieces to cut for this. I was kind of waiting to see what I had for scraps. Then we go into section 2 with our envelope. And yeah, this always confuses me, even with Voyage Fantastique. Okay, pocket. We have a thing for here, I think. And there. Okay, so that's 2 sections complete. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll join me again for the next part. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget this project is designed for Scrap and Create, and you can get all of your supplies there. There's a link down below. There's also a link to the cutting guide, which is on my blog. It's completely free. Just go ahead and get that. And I guess that is it. I will see you next time, and we will do section 3. Have a great day.